A lot of people want to say that people are riding horses because they're psychotic and they just want to dominate the animal. It's like, bitch, walking your dog on a leash is like literally the same amount of enjoyment that I get when I ride my horse. I view both of those as exercising my animals. Hey bitch, and welcome back to me talking about people I hate. In today's video, we're gonna talk more about gatekeeping extremist vegans because my God.
Take them out for walks, give them a big space to run around in, and if you really love them, stay the fuck off their back.
I feel like I'm literally the only voice for equestrians who are also vegan. If I don't speak up for vegan equestrians, who the fuck will? Because we are just being slammed left and right. All of us are villains. We're all terrible people, you guys.
Billie Eilish just posted this to her Instagram story, proudly showing her 80.5 million followers that she likes to ride horses. She likes to sit on an animal's back, forcing them to do what she wants them to do because she enjoys it. Real nice, Billie.
We are talking about Billie Eilish today. Honestly, I don't follow her closely. I don't follow her on Instagram. I don't keep up with her life. Literally, the only reason I know that Billie Eilish is a vegan equestrian is because, oh, guess what? A few weeks ago, Billie Eilish was openly talking about how riding horses is so therapeutic for her and how she's always loved horses her entire life. Because she's openly vegan, the vegan community just straight up attacked her and were calling her a fake vegan and saying that, you know, she shouldn't be calling herself vegan and she's a terrible example and a horrible dominating person.
Lots of other people ride horses. Why don't I just make a video about those people? Well, lots of other people don't have 80.5 million followers. Lots of other people aren't claiming to be vegan and aren't claiming to love and care for animals. So Billie, I'm calling bullshit. When you force them to do something over and over again, eventually they just give up. They learn that it's hopeless to try and stop you. It's called learned helplessness, and it's been studied in both humans and animals. Really sounds like a loving bond though, right?
I guess that's it, guys. We can end the video and we can go home now because, I mean, we're just all terrible fucking people. I just don't understand why vegans are just so unaccepting of equestrians when they literally don't know anything about equestrianism. I mean, there are literally millions of horses in captivity that do need homes, and I understand that breeding horses is a problem, which is why I don't stand for that. But even if we were to end all domestic breeding of horses today, there would still be millions, like 20+ million horses in the United States alone that would need homes.
Take them out for walks, give them a big space to run around in, and if you really love them, stay the fuck off their back.
Horses are not just like a dog or a cat. Horses need a lot more exercise than dogs or cats, and on top of that, they're way bigger than dogs or cats. Not only is riding good for horses if you do it in ethical ways with properly fitted tack, you don't weigh too much, meaning less than 20% of the horse's body weight, you're not overly or excessively riding your horse, and you're riding with appropriate tack like hackamores, no bits, no whips. You're using communication rather than pressure. If you are an ethical rider and you're giving your horse a good quality of life, there's a net good with that situation. You are giving an animal who needs a home and care and exercise as well. Now, I understand there's plenty of bad equestrians out there, but to lump all equestrians in to being these horrible, disgusting villains is just so wrong, because we need to be encouraging people to love, care, own, and adopt horses and give them a good life for the duration of their life, and also proper exercise and all of that, which does include riding in ethical ways. You can ethically ride horses.
No, they don't love you riding them. They love running. They love being out in nature. They love exercise, and they love living an enriching life. They don't love you sitting on their back, barking commands at them, kicking them, and pulling at ropes attached to their face. That's not love, that's slavery. Yes, riding horses does hurt them. This study x-rayed the spines of 295 horses that were being ridden regularly and found 91.5% of them them had damaged spines from being ridden.
Yeah, so this guy's just straight up lying. I looked into this study, and this study was not conducted on the effects of horses being ridden. This study was conducted on horses that had kissing spine, which is largely a genetic condition, not if riding horses hurts them. Now, granted, kissing spine can be caused by ill-fitted saddles. It can be caused by excessive, like really excessive riding, and it usually occurs within the 12th and 14th vertebrae in the horse's back. However, kissing spine is still largely related to genetics, according to a lot of veterinarians.
But even if it didn't hurt them, you're sitting on their back and forcing them to do what you want them to do for your own pleasure, for your own entertainment. What the fuck is wrong with you? Are you that desperate to have power over someone? Are you that desperate for control? Take a real deep look at yourself and ask the question, why am I doing this? The answer will be, because I like it. And that's a bullshit reason to get another animal to carry you around like a fucking slave.
Oh man, that argument is just so funny to me. Now, granted, there are plenty of equestrians out there that ride for their own benefit because they just like riding, but the vast majority of people who own horses, those people exercise and ride their horses for the horse's benefit. So that way the horse doesn't just wither away and develop early arthritis and have joint problems and musculoskeletal problems. So there are actual reasons why horses should be getting exercise, and it's very difficult to give horses that amount of exercise in an open pasture, paddock, or even with groundwork, which is why a lot of people ride them. Now, do all people ride horses to benefit the horse, meaning exercise? No. And that's exactly why I encourage people to ride more ethically, don't compete, only do things that are for your horse's benefit, have a good enough relationship with your horse to where you can allow your horse to say no and actually respect their decision if they don't want to be ridden.
No, you don't have a special bond with your horse. Your horse lets you ride them because they learned there's no point in trying to stop you. Stop pretending that riding them is some beautiful, loving, caring thing. You force them into submission for your own entertainment. That's what you're doing.
Horses definitely can say no, okay? Because otherwise, if horses couldn't say no, then why would we have all these videos of horses acting out because of pressure from the bit, because they're freaking out, they're being whipped, and it hurts them? Horses definitely can say no, and they definitely can tell you when they don't want you to ride and when they don't want you on. Now, are some horses overly conditioned or beaten down? Absolutely. And those horses probably shouldn't be ridden. But if you have a normal horse that you respect and have an actual relationship with, they can definitely tell you when they don't want to be ridden, and you need to respect that as a rider. A lot of people want to say that people are riding horses because they're psychotic and they just want to dominate the animal. It's like, bitch, walking your dog on a leash is like literally the same amount of enjoyment that I get when I ride my horse. I view both of those as exercising my animals. So yes, vegans can be equestrians as well. You just have to hold yourself to a high ethical standard, and you have to try to be the best possible parent to your animal. I really feel like vegans are going way too far down a loony bin because, like, my God, the fact that all vegans are now trying to be gatekeepers for veganism. Even if somebody who's a vegan equestrian needs to be vegan for several years before they can transition off of riding horses, that's normal. That's totally fine. We need to be encouraging people to slowly, gradually become vegan. You're turning so many people away by acting this way and by being just fucking rude, and you're literally bullying people out of being vegan, which is like so crazy to me.
And horses are like one of the only things that I would say bring me peace, because my life is it's not very peaceful. It's a lot of fun and it's a lot of excitement, but there's barely anything in my life that's actually like genuinely like brings me to be calm and have peace and like joy.
Horses have been used for therapy and rehabilitation for people for a very long time, and it's because horses have such a calming presence. They're just so relaxing to be around, and it's very therapeutic for a lot of people, and that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people have horses. Most equestrians spend way more time with their horses on the ground than on the saddle?
I grew up as riding horses, but I grew up with no money, and if you have no money, you get absolutely nowhere with horses, and so I literally couldn't afford it at all, so I worked at the barn for 2 years, and it was exhausting. It was a lot of work, and in exchange for that, I got lessons and stuff, and then after a while, I just felt like there was other things I needed to do. No one was taking me seriously. I've just realized I kind of need it, or at least just to be around horses, so I've tried to get back into it a little bit, but not on a show level or whatever, because I don't need that. I just want to be around the animal.
She doesn't want to compete. She doesn't want to do any of that. She just wants to be around them and be in their presence. I mean, to me, she sounds like a vegan equestrian. I don't feel like she's exploiting animals. I don't feel like she's around horses for psychotic reasons, like she's trying to dominate these animals. It just sounds like she really enjoys being around horses, and they help her out a lot with her life and just with her mental state, because they're just so calming and relaxing. That's one of the reasons why a lot of vegans have dogs and cats, is because they like having animals. Animals relax them, animals make them feel better, and it's no different with horses. And just because you're riding a horse does not mean you're dominating them, as long as you are riding with proper equipment that's ethical and properly fitted tack, and you're also riding with minimal contact, and you're not forcing your horse around and listening to their cues and their body language, then you can ride ethically. Absolutely. She is riding with a bit, which is not very ethical. I mean, I've made several videos on bits and how they affect horses and why people should not ride in them. I'm gonna give her a pass just because this horse does not belong to her, and to be honest, her legal team probably made the stable, because if you guys rewind, the other horses, at least what I saw, were being ridden in bitless bridles. They're probably making her ride in that simply because she's Billie Eilish and they don't know this horse. This is her first time riding this horse, and they are giving her a little bit more control over the animal if something were to happen, because they are going on a trail ride. So is it ethical? No. Is it vegan? No. I'll give her a pass. I mean, come on guys, she doesn't own this horse. This isn't her horse. And even if she asked for a bitless bridle, they probably wouldn't have given it to her, just because the actual stables would be liable if she got hurt. But should you go and should you do trail rides? No. This place might not be a trail riding place. It doesn't look like a trail riding place, like a typical, trail nose to butt place where those horses definitely don't live a good life and you shouldn't go there. This looks like a legit riding facility and they're taking her out on a trail. So do these horses live a good life? Probably. They're probably very well cared for.
To chase it away, got some, and it's all because of you. Hey, what's gonna give you more time forever? Know what they say, only time will tell.
So they are riding in properly fitted tack. She was riding in a halter underneath the bridle for pretty much the whole time. In most circumstances, you shouldn't ride with a halter and a bridle. It can rub on the horse's face and cause just unnecessary discomfort. Also, should she be riding in bits if she's vegan? No. But I mean, for fuck's sake, guys, every vegan makes mistakes. Every vegan just tries to be their best. And you know what? Like, she's riding in properly fitted tack. This horse looks like he's well cared for. She's riding properly, and she looks like she's not pulling on the reins at all, not causing any discomfort for the horse. I mean, this is best case scenario for somebody who doesn't actually own an animal. The only thing better than this would be if she was riding in a bitless bridle. I'm not just cutting her slack here because I'm a vegan equestrian, because I do agree that is this vegan? No. She just wanted to go out and have a really therapeutic day with an animal, and hopefully in the future future, when she goes out to ride horses, she rides them bitless and rides a horse that she probably knows and has a good relationship with. I really hope that maybe she'll rescue some horses and have some horses for herself, because I know that she struggles a lot with depression, and it might be really good for her when she's not touring to have some horses and buy a big, you know, pasture and open space to house some rescue horses. I mean, are we really gonna crucify her for this? Like, come on, guys, are you serious? Every vegan makes mistakes. Every vegan has to learn how to be vegan, and every vegan has slip-ups along the way, because there's so many elements to veganism. Veganism is so much more complicated than just a diet, so it's hard for people to grasp all these things, and if people slip up from time to time, that doesn't mean they're not vegan. That just means that they're trying, and everybody has moments where they can better themselves, and we need to stop turning people away from veganism by being extremists. I mean, nobody is going to be a perfect vegan. I mean, I literally loved it when this guy was saying that Billie Eilish was hurting the vegan movement, and I'm like, bitch, she literally has 80+ million followers and constantly talks about being vegan and climate change issues. She's doing a lot more good than you, so... Anyway, guys, thanks again to Coldest Water for sponsoring this video. These are my new Link Equestrian designs, which are on the website down below, but otherwise, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.